Scrum down at 33,000 feet. Welcome to Britannia Airways Flight 529A. Well, we'll be following the Great Britain team around the French town of Avignon and then on the pitch as they try to repeat the form they showed at Wigan last month.
So Paul Laughlin here with a chance to have the scores level again, and it looks like 2 out of 2 from Laughlin. Oh, it's a try instead! Well, out of the blue, and that's real opportunism from Shaun Edwards. Britain's ball, and this looks dangerous. Edwards and Lydon, Joe Lydon streaking for the line. Surely indeed, will they stop him? He's there. Andy Gregory, Ellery Hanley, and Joe Lydon gets Phil Ford over in the corner.
I'd like to score there, maybe we can from about 4 yards out. France in France will be, you know, a lot more difficult because, as you can appreciate, the standard of play in French rugby has really improved. And they give us a good game down at Wigan. It's really hard. So expecting a very hard game in France.
The British under-21 team could also expect a hard game. We'll have highlights of that too, as the French try to avenge a big defeat at Headingley, where Britain ran in 7 tries. On the 2-hour flight from Manchester, some chat with clubmates, some exercise the brain a little, some can manage 2 things at once. And the manager, Les Bettinson, can't hold his drink. He spills most of it.
It's his fault.
At least it's a chance to win some new fans. Ahead of them, the beautiful walled town of Avignon, with the famous Pont d'Avignon that doesn't quite cross the River Rhone. The popes once made their home here in this palace when they were thrown out of Rome. Today's invasion force arrives on French soil, the current stars, and some former ones. Jim Mills enjoying the sunshine. The party's only fitness doubt is Andy Gregory, the Wigan scrum half, who has flu. The refreshments are meant for Jim Mills and co, and not Andy Gregory. It's an hour's coach ride from the airport at Nîmes to the team hotel in the centre of Avignon. Literally within minutes of the coach arriving, the players are stripped for the first of 2 training sessions. Others can take it easy. They won a national newspaper competition. So are they here for the beer, the city, or the rugby?
I think the city,
Yeah,
really.
mainly, yeah. I mean, I obviously like watching the rugby, but yeah, it's once in a lifetime.
But let's make sure
These men are definitely here for the rugby.
Positions and into it at pace, instead of standing and waiting for it. Okay, let's tuck it off you this time. Sharpen his head. Let's play the ball down a little bit.
Training at Le Ponte, with a full test debut ahead for the Salford centre, Peter Williams.
Yeah, I'll be nervous, but I'm just going to try and play as well as I can and hopefully have a good game.
How's the training gone?
It's gone well. It's quite easy to mix in with the lads, good set of lads, so they tell you if you're going wrong anyway straight away, so things have gone all right, and we're just in the right frame of mind to do the business on Sunday.
Sunday dawns, match day. The management are optimistic, boosted by the news that Andy Gregory, a key man, is fit. He proves it almost in the shadow of the bridge. For a man shaking off flu, he's not doing badly. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, the Brits have brought their own brunch. Plenty here to keep a hungry hooker happy. Meanwhile, a culinary crisis looms. No spag bol.
Oh, did you ask for spaghetti bolognese?
Yeah? No, it don't matter.
She's mixing some up for you if you want it.
Have some eggs and beans.
Have some spaghetti.
Get some of that spaghetti there.
Spaghetti?
Yeah.
No such worries for the top brass, brought onto the bridge for the very first time in 6 visits by Scrumdown.
Superb setting, and the French are really making Avignon their centre for international football. This is why we've been back so recently. They get good support here, excellent stadium, usually great weather, and they're rather making it like a Wembley.
Trying to develop it into a Wembley style situation, yeah.
And heading for the stadium, another man wired for sound, Roy Powell. The British dressing room at the Parc des Sports. The team are fired up, and they're not underestimating the French.
Now, what about Gilles Dumas, your opponent today?
He's a good player. You know, I've only played against him once, but I've watched him a few times, and he's an exciting player. You know, he's a tough player, and I look forward to playing against him.
Ellery Hanley, the man the French fear. Here's his opposite number.
He's a very good player, and in attack, only in the center, he come very often, and it's very fast.
Makes it hard work for you?
Yeah, very, very hard for me.
And there is Ellery Hanley leading out the Great Britain team. Phil Ford, Lee Crooks going through nervous moments, these, even for experienced internationals like Andy Gregory, Roy Powell, Sean Edwards at the back. The French were hoping for a crowd of around 10,000 today. Doesn't look quite that many, but still a splendid atmosphere building up in the French sunshine. These are the men, of course, the French want to see to avenge that 26-10 defeat at Wigan. Great Britain really looking forward to the occasion, and the captain's introductions.
Mike Gregg, Andy Gregg, Keith England, Pete Williams.
Well, it may not provide quite the challenge of a match against Australia or New Zealand, but still tremendous national pride at stake for any international. We're ready, I think, for the national anthems. Last-minute instructions from Ellery Hanley.
Just make sure we cover both sides and nullify their play.
Greg McCallum from Sydney, the referee, and the French anthem. Quick team check for you. One man in the French lineup who wasn't at Wigan, the fullback Frisson, and Fraisse, who wore the number 1 jersey that day, moves to the wing. And for Great Britain, Peter Williams replaces Paul Loughlin in the centre, and Lee Crooks is back for his first test in 2 years, replacing his Leeds teammate Hugh Waddell at prop.
Tails.
We take this ground.
You're on that way?
No, we take this ground. France, this way.
Okay.
Take
Here?
it.
Kick off.
Kick.
Yeah, you must be running.
Good luck.
For you.
All right, thank you. Good man.
All the best, gents. All right, okay. Yeah, take the coin. Thank you.
Our kick, that way.
So the instruction clear from Ellery Hanley. We're all set. The match commentators David Watkins and John Hell.
So with the pre-match ceremonies out of the way, it's down to the business in hand, and Joe Lydon kicks off the 50th test match between Great Britain and France, and the conditions here in Avignon absolutely perfect, David.
Yes, they are perfect. Underfoot conditions are excellent, and the team should play well on this. Malcolm really said that he wanted to build up ready for the New Zealand tour next year, and this is an ideal opportunity now for them to build on the foundations of Wigan.
And there'll be no complacency. Great Britain coming here looking for the double, having won at Wigan. Hanley making the tackle there, and this is the half-back, Gilles Dumas. Delaunay, the centre three-quarter, who was probably the most impressive of the three-quarters at Wigan. And the French will be looking for an early score. Gregory bounced rather kindly for him, and Andy Gregory sets off, supported by Alan Tate, the man from Widnes, in his second international, and he won the man of the match, of course, in his first. And now Phil Ford. But the whistle gone, and referee Greg McCallum from Sydney awarding the first penalty of the game, and it's gone to Great Britain. And Joe Lydon deciding to have a pot at go. He'll wait for the sand to arrive. But a good early chance now for Britain to get the first points.
Yes, it is really, and it's a sensible way as well to build on it. Normally when you play France, the opposition has never been that good, and as a result of it, Great Britain have started playing fancy football without doing the right things first. And taking this penalty will give them an ideal opportunity now to really build a lead, to be able to play the football we all know they're capable of doing.
And as so often happens, the wind intervenes. The clock is stopped, just to explain that to all our viewers, so there's no time lost in effect. And Andy Gregory has to do the honours in holding the ball in place. Lydon, well, it's long enough, but the flags stay down. Disappointment for the man from Wigan. Good to see him back in the international side, though.
Oh yes, I mean, we've got speed now in the back division. Peter Williams, Ford, Joe himself and Martin of Fire. And really to unleash these backs in any World Rugby is excellent opportunity.
Roy Powell. He will see plenty of the ball in this match. One of the great workers of the pack, Kevin Beardmore. And Gregory, a good little ball slipped inside, and Crooks has got Hanley at his shoulder. Ellery Hanley, they won't stop him. And Hanley's done it yet again. He's got this astonishing knack of scoring tries against France. And in international rugby, that's his 18th in 28 tests.
What a superb try here, backing up there, superb. Crooks back to the form we know he can do. An inside ball, out to Ellery Hanley on his shoulder, an excellent start.
But again, the kick failing, so 4 points to 0, Great Britain in the lead, and that's the 6th successive test in which Hanley has scored against France. So the perfect start.
Oh, this is the start they wanted. They can build on this. It's always difficult when you go to France. France are so unpredictable. We get into it without any real build-up and any lead in games, and as a result of it, we start panicking. But this side doesn't panic now, and this is something Malcolm really has done.
So, France 0, Great Britain 4. Here's Kevin Ward, who had his part to play in that try. It was good to see Lee Crooks there. Long kick, and Ratier, the French captain, having to go deep to pick it up. Oh, and losing the ball in the tackle, and problems here again for the French, as they have to funnel back now to defend their line. Fire. Edwards and Gregory. Oh, and Great Britain looking strong again as Ellery Hanley goes towards that line. Tate, and Phil Ford squeezes over in the corner and makes good ground too. A super start for Great Britain, and this really must be knocking the stuffing out of the French. 2 tries in the first 5 minutes.
Well, we're moving the ball quite well, and people are backing up, taking it on the burst, and that's important because we make ground then, and it causes the defence all kinds of problems. Watch this pass now. Phil Ford waiting for the pass, timed perfectly by Tate, leaves Ford the simple task of crossing in the corner.
There again, the ball not very obliging, but Joe Lydon will want this one. He's missed 2 already. It's not often you get 3 chances in the first 5 minutes of a game, and this looks better. And this time up go the flags, and Great Britain lead by 10 points to 0 after only 5 minutes. Bayer, the big prop forward. The French wanting to come back quickly now. Dumas looking for Ratier out there, but that was a little bit sloppy by France.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but it's nice to see France playing well again because they are so important to the international setup. A good French side means a good competition right throughout.
So, Andy Gregory to put in. And to take it out as well. Now, good movement among the 3 quarters here. Tate again roars up into the line. tackled by Delaunay. Joe Lydon sets up. But better French tackling there. It's Phil Ford. Puts it along that line. Gregory. Mike Gregory, that one is. Gregory, Andy Gregory, Edwards. Again Edwards. Andy Gregory and small. The interception is by Dumas, and Dumas could not score here for France. A superb interception by the scrum half. Andy Gregory's mistake, but he was so alert as Dumas, and a well-merited try.
Well, they were lying a little shallow there, Great Britain, and if you see it, Lee Crooks was standing right next to Andy Gregory. There wasn't any depth, nobody coming on with any conviction, a result of which France spotted the ball, and through Dumas, their lively scrum half, ran the length of the field virtually to score that try. Look at the way he goes. There's no chance of anyone catching him, even Hanley, and the full-back is out of position as well. So difficult to stop interception tries, but he really goes well for this try, and we saw at Wigan, the excitement when he scored, and we'll see a little more excitement here.
Malcolm really quite furious on the bench. The kick from Frace is rather woeful actually. It's short, but at least France are back into the game, and Jacques Jourdain applauds the fact. So Britain leading 10-4. That's some encouragement for the French here. They come forward once more, looking for more points, and Jacques Molinaire, who was extremely impressive at Wigan, gets that ball away in the tackle to Palisset. Valero dishing it out quickly. Yeah. Just taking 3 men to stop his plunge. Dumas, the little chip through, chases his own kick. Well gathered there by Sean Edwards. And Gregory sets off. He'll want to atone for that mistake, that's for sure, and still going scuttling along the ground before Valero finally brings him to a halt. Ooh, and a little bit of kicking there between Gregory and Valero. And referee McCallum wants to sort this one out quickly. To be fair, in the match at Wigan, there wasn't a lot of problem for the referee between the two sides, but he's had to be quick to stamp that one out.
I think he has to as well, because the French tend to get a little excitable, and Andy isn't the most quiet of players, a result of which, if it does flare up like that, it could cause problems.
Well, the penalty went to Great Britain. Good to see the Union Jack flapping in the background there as Kevin Ward comes into the action. Now his Castleford colleague Beardmore. Whoops, Rod Powell is getting a helping hand almost as far as the touchline. Edwards. Now Crooks. Well, that was a solid enough challenge. But, referee McCallum again in there. To be a scrum down. The British really should win plenty of possession with this front row of theirs. And they have again. Gregory to Edwards. The two Wigan men in harness. And Phil Ford juggling with it, coming in field. This is typical Phil Ford, dancing away from opponents. Now finding a fire. He's seen virtually nothing of the ball.
No, it's surprising. We haven't moved the ball out that much, but our forwards are taking it down, and they are building a platform for the backs, hopefully to run off them at a later stage.
That one looked to squirt forward out of the hand, but Peter Williams picked it up and was allowed to carry on. Powell. And again Kevin Ward, but good tackling once more by Dumas. The British getting closer, ever closer to that French line, and Mike Gregory sets off and beats two men. Not far out now, as you can see. The third try really would be sickening for the French, and Hanley might be the man to get it. Well, he's over that line, but he just can't ground the ball. But you'd have backed Ellery Hanley in that situation.
Well, that's incredible. It just goes to show how well the French are tackling at the moment. They are tackling with passion, and they're knocking Great Britain back, and that's good because it means that we're not getting things all our own way.
Well, that's certainly some relief for France. Hanley unable to ground it. So they're still in the game. 10-4 down. And Malcolm Willys have got a lot to say about it. That's a better kick from Dumas. So appreciation from the French fans. Fire, of course, just 2 tries away from a career century that will have come in rapid time. And again, it's Britain's ball. Kevin Beardmore's doing a good job in there. Edwards. He thought he'd seen a gap then.
Yes, he's running straight, and that's because that's drawing the defence in and across. So when they do open it out, hopefully we'll see the speed of both Fire and Phil Ford with plenty of opportunity and space on the outside.
Here comes Kevin Ward again, barging straight into the opposition. Delaunay certainly does his tackling stint. Edwards. Still they're trying to work that ball out towards a Fire. He's got it in his hands now, and that was a forward pass. I don't think the referee needed telling, but the French crowd certainly did.
That's right, that's what you have when you have indecision. Sean didn't know whether to kick or not then he saw people on the outside, and by the time the delay action, he threw a forward pass, which the referee quite obviously on the spot picked it up.
Again, it's Britain's ball. So, with 6 successive wins behind them against France, Great Britain must come looking for a 7th here. Well, as always, Powell is well marked. Gregory and Edwards working a nice little 1-2, and it's set Gregory going, and the long looping pass out there has got Peter Williams over. And what a start to your international career to get a try in your first full test. Good work from Peter Williams of Salford.
Yes, well, we worked hard for this. We haven't panicked at all, and Andy Gregory comes on the run around, and he's such a devastating player when he goes forward. A superb overhead pass, and look, the Fire saying to Peter Williams, you go and take it. He knows he's in for a try, and a great start to his international career.
Yes, it is, and Andy Gregory will feel a lot happier about that after his mistake. Now Lydon. No, not this time. So only 1 out of 4 for Joe Lydon. Well, the crowd didn't feel that one was put in straight, but it came out for Great Britain yet again. Slaughtering France in the scrums, and a really difficult one for Ratier to take, but he's got round a Fire, and that's good. Well played by the French captain. Hugh Ratier still going. What an exciting run from Ratier, and he got the ball away. Well, that's the best we've seen, and the best Jacques Jourda has seen, although he doesn't look too happy at the moment.
Well, that was a brilliant run. That was good anticipation, a good captain's role, picking the ball up, leaving 2 defenders in the way, coming back in field, linking back up with his forwards.
Well, Ratier is an inspiring captain by example. Edwards. It's a delicate kick, and it's chipping through, and it's bouncing towards that line, and very, very good kick indeed. Frisson could do nothing about that. And the French have won the heel. Important for them now not to lose the ball so close to their own line.
That's right, they've got to build up as well. They're in contention with that runaway try they've had, of course, so Great Britain are settling down, are taking it in, but they've been very equal to the task. They've tackled very well, this French side, so far this afternoon.
I don't think Valera was listening to us too well, though. There he spilled the pass just when we were saying that's what they mustn't do. So Great Britain have chances again. The big Kevin Ward from Castleford, using all of his 16 stones. Kevin Beardmore. Mike Gregory. Gregory really one of the heroes down in Australia. In the summer, and so was this man, Andy Gregory. Man of the match, of course, in that famous win in Sydney. The ball bobbling about all over, but Molineux has finally pocketed it. Ayer. And Crockford from Toulouse. Malcolm Reilly will be looking as much to his defence in this game. The only try the French have scored has been through an interception.
Yes, he will be, and it'll give us something, because the French are coming hard. They are tackling well themselves. They've been under a lot of pressure, but they are putting things together, and when you have runs like Rattler, where he comes inside people as well, it does mean that the Great Britain defence has got to become organised.
They've got the ball back. They'll get 6 more tackles for that. That worked well. Lee Crooks not allowing his man up in the tackle, conceding the penalty. But it is good to have Lee Crooks back in an international jersey.
Well, it's so important. He's a big lad, he's a very good ball player, and he can actually set good runners from behind, and that's important for him.
Crooks in his first test for 2 years. He did well to hold on to that one, Palissé. This is better from France. Oh, well, it was until Phil Ford intervened and kicks ahead, and Phil Ford might just win the chase for the touchdown as well. A second try for Phil Ford. Britain's 4, and they're getting further and further away from France. And that really was a disaster for the home country.
Yes, France can't afford to do that. They have been prone to doing it once or twice, giving away possession, which, as you said, getting away, especially because they've been in defence for so long. But Phil Ford, ever alert, and that's good for a winger, kicks it ahead, and with one object in mind, that's getting to the ball as quickly as he can. He leaves the defence behind him here, looking all around him as well, making sure of it. That's a good try, and a good try at an important moment.
And Lydon's kick is good too. So, Phil Ford's 8th try in 10 Test matches. Another note and another score to write down for the Great Britain coach. Gregory was looking rather wondrous about that. That was a dangerous one. And Ford could well have been in for a hat-trick there. France 4, Great Britain 20. And you can't honestly see the French coming back from this position.
Not really. We vetted our tactics well as well. The half-backs have kicked over the top, the long kick ahead, the little chip as well. And that's made France think all the time and put them under pressure for long periods.
And it's half-time here in Avignon, so Great Britain, a very good first half indeed, leading by 20 points to 4, 2 tries for Ford, 1 each for Hanley and Williams. Join us for the second half after the break.
The trouble with your average daily paper is you know exactly where it's coming from. Not so the Star. The Daily Star, just what you didn't expect.
So this is what they meant by economy package?
Well, never mind. The Buffy's first class. Stones!
Hey! Hey, you bums! Get off my train! You are... Come on!
You know, if this was a pub, it'd go places. Same again.
Wherever you may wander, there's no taste like Stones.
No one does more than we do to build a perfect body. No one does more to preserve their good looks. And when it comes to a paint job, no one is more thorough. That's why we survive years of English winters. Even though some of us can barely survive the weekend at a health farm. If only everything in life was as reliable as a Volkswagen.
When the small business went up, we made sure the small businessman didn't go under. Snow blocked the roads, yet our man still managed to drift in and start to sort out the claim as best he could. Then all he had to do was drive home. Commercial Union. We won't make a drama out of a crisis.
VO5 lets you style with confidence. VO5 lets you hold with confidence. And with VO5, you can be confident you're not destroying the atmosphere. Ozone-friendly VO5. Because a great hairstyle shouldn't cost the earth.
It goes with the guys that hang in the sky. It goes with the lows. It goes with the highs. It goes with the girls who live in the sun. It's part of the job, a part of the fun. It's a part of the moment. Share a little part of the moment. It's a part of the moment. Make it a part of your day.
Welcome back to Avignon. The team's coming out for the start of the second half, but we've a chance now to hear the views of the Great Britain coach, Malcolm Reilly.
Like a very strong win, great start for you, and then the French came back here and at 10-4, you really needed the extra tries, didn't you?
Yes, we took the opportunities very well. Our kicking game, obviously, with the elements as it is, we had to use it at full effect, and we've done that. We've missed a couple of chances, but we've been fortunate in other areas too. Defensively, I think we've contained them, but it's going to be very difficult now bringing it away from our own 25 for full 40 minutes.
What have you said to them at half-time? Because the wind's going to be very strong and very difficult to contend with, isn't it?
I think we've got to play the tackles out, play a percentage game, control the ball as much as possible, get the wingers back with a full-back to help them bring it away. Just percentage football.
Thanks very much indeed, Malcolm. The second half underway. Here's John Hell.
It sounded a very realistic appraisal, saying that they've got to go through the tackles, David.
I think this has been the basis of a good Great Britain side since Malcolm has been there. He's a very realistic individual, and putting things in perspective has always been one of his better policies.
So I think the message is nothing fancy needed in this second half from Great Britain. Hold on to what you've got. But at 20 points to 4, it's certainly looking good for them, but the ball squirting away there from Sean Edwards. Frisson there, full-back, who's the one change in the French team from that which played at Wigan, was involved. Penalty being awarded against Great Britain. One thing about this referee, he's in quickly and he's positive in his decisions.
Yes, he is, and whereas France has always been regarded as fodder by Great Britain side, this side is playing much better, and Great Britain are playing better as a result of a good French side.
So Dumas has taken over kicking responsibilities, but not with any success. Oh, and Dumas. Ball going to ground, but that surely was a knock-on by the French. A little bit of over-anxiety, perhaps, in their play.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see whether the French used the ball as well as Great Britain did in the first half by pumping it downfield, and as Malcolm really said, it's important that both his wings get back to help out the full-back in those situations.
So from the differential penalty, Joe Lydon just finding a touch. Some rather disconsolate looking French players. Ratier will try to lift them again. It's out again for Great Britain. Kevin Beardmore continuing to do a good job in the scrums. He's won continual possession for them, and Lydon takes some stopping once he gets going. Joe Lydon with 6 international tries to his name. Powell, who hasn't got one yet in his 9th test. Kevin Ward. Short ball for Gregory, but Crooks came up, and there are chances once more here as Hanley has surely got Shaun Edwards in. A beautifully worked try, and you can see that Edwards is delighted with that. So he scored in both tests against France this time, but it was a beautifully manoeuvred move.
Well, they wanted a quick score this second half, and they put the game together very well then. They moved the ball wide. They had an intricate move with Lee Crooks coming in, and he is a good distributor of the ball. And of course it was out then with Hanley as well, always involved, and Shaun Edwards, ever alert at acting half-back, snatches the try. Look at the way this pass and look how Edwards on it, what a superb pass, and look how well he runs for the try. Marvellous try.
That made it 24-4. Lydon's kick has made it 26-4. Great Britain back in possession already, with Crooks, who had a hand in that. Kevin Beardmore from acting half-back. Oh, lost the ball as he was fouled, and although Ward picked it up, it'll be a scrum. The other important thing now, David, is for Great Britain not to become complacent. It's so difficult, of course, when you're so far ahead.
That's right, they've got to keep on top of the French side because they are playing at home, a very partisan crowd here, and they'll obviously want to see them do well. So Britain can't afford to relax at all.
The Britain determination on Delaunay's face here. He wanted to hold on to that ball. He's still got it. And in fact, they were somewhat over-vigorous, the British lads there. So there'll be a penalty for France. David Thrace coming over from his left wing position, just shielding his eyes against the sun. But he's found his touch all right. Thrace is one of those players that 1 or 2 English clubs have expressed interest in.
Well, he's a big, strong lad, and given he hasn't had many opportunities, but given opportunities, I'm sure we'll see him show his paces.
Roshi, the substitute, involved there. Now Molineux, and here is Molineux. Well, we saw how he can run at Wigan when he scored that splendid try, and that's the best we've seen here in Avignon from Molineux.
That was a marvellous run. The cross dummy went through the opposition, sliced the defence like a knife through butter, and the French fans showed their approval.
Alex Murphy in particular is rather keen on Monsieur Molineux. Did well not to give a forward pass there. But, the ball is now in Britain's hands. Well, it should have been, and it is now with Kevin Ward. Hanley feeding Crooks. Powell does well to hold off not 1 but 2 men there. Got hold of Hanley this time. He's such a marked man, of course, and how dangerous he is anywhere on the field. Well, it's an awkward bounce for Frisson. He was a little bit slow in not taking it the first time, perhaps, there.
It's always a full-back's dilemma. When the ball comes to you, you've got to go in for it first time. It's no good waiting for it to bounce, especially on a surface like the one we have here today.
Kevin Ward, who's taken a Bit of a bang on the head. The French now willing to move that ball around, and Ratier sets off, and Hugh Ratier cutting inside. Oh, this is splendid running from the French captain, Ratier. Inside, outside, and Hugh Ratier scores a quite sensational try. Well, applause from his colleagues on the bench, and very well deserved indeed. Ratier has proved on a number of occasions against Great Britain that he's one of the best wingers in the world. And that's one of the best tries you could have ever seen. And here's the kick. And again it fails, but that really was brilliant.
Well, this was French rugby at its best. They moved the ball out wide. He went through 3-4 pair of hands. Look at the way he sized up the opposition. And Great Britain's defence has been good all afternoon here. But he takes it on. Phil Ford doing a good wing job on the other side. But he can't stop that. And that has raised this crowd. Everyone in the stand cheering like mad for a magnificent try.
I think it's a little too late for France to come back into the game, but well, the crowd will feel they've had their money's worth from that Ratier try now.
Well, I think it shows the potential this French side have when they move the ball, and it says much for Great Britain's defence that we've curbed them, because when they move it as well as that, they are certainly dangerous opposition.
Keith England's on, as you see there, packing down. The British lads have enjoyed their trip to Avignon, especially the weather, of course. Beardmore's done so well in the scrums. The crowd again didn't like that one, but it was out for Great Britain, and Alan Tate's come up. Hanley. Oh, that body strength of Hanley's is absolutely astonishing, and just look at him go. That was superb from Hanley. The pass perhaps didn't match it. They always say if there's one part of Hanley's game that isn't quite up to the rest of it, it's his passing, but what a terrific run again.
Well, what strength he has. I mean, he stops people dead when he puts them in positions that they can't really hit him hard enough. But even if they do, he's got such top body strength, he can just knock people off, swatting them like flies.
And Phil Ford, good to see him getting 2 tries, of course, and he'll be looking for a third. And in fact, it's Ford who picks it up and then feels the full force of Molinaire coming in, and that one has really rocked Phil Ford. He's holding his face, but I think the actual bang was on the leg as the physiotherapist administers the treatment. And Malcolm Reilly, an anxious wait for him, just to see how his winger is. But he does have Steve Hampson on the bench, of course. So if Ford does come off, that won't be too bad a blow for Great Britain. Ford is going to limp away. Phil Ford is off, Hampson is on, and here come Great Britain again. And the ball spinning through the hands, nice movement, very good indeed. And here's Martin Offiah. And he really has had very few chances, David.
He has had very few chances. It's surprising, really, on an open game like this. A good, hard surface, but Great Britain have built down the middle, and they felt it better to do it that way, and as Malcolm said, pressure rugby.
Keith England there, playing his first test like Lee Crooks for 2 years. Now Ward, who's part of the scene always, but here's Roshi, the substitute. Another interception, Hanley's got back there, but Roshi showing a good turn of speed, and then rather stupidly lashing out at Sean Edwards. And then Joe Lydon's hand of friendship not accepted by Roshi. So referee McCallum will speak to the substitute about that. And in fact, he's giving him 10 minutes in the sin bin, and apparently it was for spitting.
Well, if that was the case, then he should have gone off, because there's no answer to that. I mean, here, Sean Edwards does go into kick it, but he does lash out at Sean Edwards, and that's bad.
So off goes Roshi, but it gives us a chance to hear from Phil Ford on the touchline.
Well, first of all, how's the leg?
It's okay, it was just, you know, a dead leg. It was my own fault. I should have fell on the ball instead of trying to pick it up. But I was no good to the team out there, so I had to come off, especially with Ambo on the bench. We haven't weakened the side at all whatsoever.
Ambo being Steve Hampson, and it is good to see Steve Hampson in the international side after so much bad luck.
That's right, he'll be wondering when his day was ever going to come, but he is a very good and accomplished player, and it's rightly so. There's so many versatile players now in this British backline, it doesn't really weaken the side in any way at all.
And Steve Hampson, who's had broken arms and goodness knows what over the last few years. However, here's Alan Tate, and Alan Tate showing a really good turn of speed. Oh, Alan Tate, brilliant running, and a first international try for the fullback from Widnes.
Well, he's been a revelation because a long ball from Gregory on the wing, and look at the pace of the man. He's a full-back up centre, now on the wing, streaking away, leaving the opposition just stranded. And although the wing tries to get back to him, he's only going one way for Alan Tate. A magnificent try.
He had so little room in which to work there, and Lydon's kick. Again, it's this wind that's making it very difficult for the kickers, but Great Britain go on to 30 points, a record score in France for Great Britain. But, not long to go now, and so it's going to be 7 consecutive victories for Britain over France. They've lost none of their last 8 internationals against them. Roshi, who's back on, losing the ball, and Sean Edwards only too happy to pick it up. And there indeed goes the final whistle, so Great Britain recorded double over France. They've won here in Avignon by 30 points to 8, and a very comprehensive and convincing win. The tries were shared, Ellery Hanley with his 11th in 10 games against France, getting the first one. Peter Williams, Sean Edwards, Alan Tate, a couple for Phil Ford, but perhaps the best try of the game scored by Hugh Ratier for France. But David Watkins, Malcolm Reilly, happy about this one.
Yes, they came out here with a ploy to win the game and do it well. They built on a good foundation, they scored some good tries, they played the percentage rugby he asked for, and all in all, it's a very good Great Britain performance.
Well, the nominated man of the match is the Castleford prop forward, Kevin Ward. There he is, and what a fine game he's had. Let's hear from him now.
Congratulations. Kevin, it wasn't easy, was it?
No, it was hard, but we expected that. Just weathered the storm like, and got the result we wanted in the end.
At 10-4 in the first half, it could have gone either way.
No, not really, because they only had one clear construct, you know, it was just a mistake, a deception, but no, nothing against Greg like, but that's how things go, but I don't think they've looked in the game, really.
You've given them a try away?
Yeah, I made a few, and made the one for France, you know. I'm not so happy about that one, but you know, a win's always a good win in France, but like I say, we made, I think in the second half we made far too many errors, you know, and if we're going to have to, you know, buck our ideas up if we're going to, you know, seriously compete against, you know, New Zealand and Australia.
It wasn't easy, was it, especially in the first half?
No, wind conditions didn't tell much. They're always a rugged side over here, and we didn't play our best football, but we're lucky to come away with a win. Well, not lucky, but glad to come away with a win, so we're happy with that.
Wasn't a good day for goal kickers, was it?
Not really, not in this weather, no.
Wasn't an easy game for you, was it?
No, the wind didn't help us. That first half, tactically, we were superb. Played great first half. Second half went to pieces a bit. I don't know what was up with us, just trying to passes. You know, me and Cleed did one daft pass. But convincing win, I think it's a record score if I'm not right.
It is, well done.
The game's statistics tell us a great deal, and for a start reveal what an unsung hero Castleford hooker Kevin Beardmore is. He won the scrums by an average of 2-1, heeling the ball 16 times. And with what must be a record on scrum down, he actually took 5 against the head. Referee McCallum has had 2 excellent internationals. He awarded only 15 penalties here, 9 conceded by Great Britain. Well, if Malcolm Reilly was unhappy about one aspect of the game, it must have been the handling errors. Britain put down 20 passes, France 4 more than that. Thanks to Malcolm's assistant Phil Larder, we had access to the Great Britain tackle count. It was topped by Lee Crooks on his return to the international scene with 30. Mike Gregory made 29 tackles, Kevin Ward effected 25.
Well, just before we return to Avignon, let's have today's main stories at home. Bradford Northern kiss goodbye to the Cup. Wigan triumph at Oddsall with Nicky Kiss getting the vital try in the second half. Elsewhere, Mark Roberts gets 3 of Warrington's 11 tries against Keighley. Les Quirk scores a try for St Helens against his old club, Barrow. Paul Lyman wins over more Hulkingston Rovers supporters, the try and the Man of the Match award. And for Featherstone, Graham Steadman scores every point bar 1, a try, 2 goals and a drop goal. It's with the second round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup that we start our results check. Bradford Northern 4, Wigan 17. Hulkingston Rovers 28, Chorley 4. Leeds 24, Carlisle 4. St Helens 28, Barrow 6. Sheffield 20, Oldham 32. Wakefield 4, Featherstone 10. Warrington 56, Keighley 7. So these are the 8 teams still running on the road to Wembley. Widnes, of course, destroyed Castleford yesterday. It'll be an all First Division quarter-final draw on Tuesday morning. More results. Stonesbitter Championship, 2nd Division. Batley 9, Hunslet 26. Doncaster 18, Mansfield 12. Fulham 19, Dewsbury 9. Workington 23, Swinton 10. York 10, Huddersfield 4. Let's see what that does to the 2nd Division table. In the main feature there, Doncaster jumping 2 places back up to 3rd. Swinton missed their chance to gain ground. York didn't. And now, as promised, let's see Great Britain's under-21s in their Whitbread Trophy match at Carpentras, with the French team still smarting from a 30-0 defeat last month. France had all the early pressure, but Britain the first chance to score.
It's a straight enough kick for Paul Newlove, and that looks good enough. The flags are raised, and Paul Newlove the first points of the game. French throwing the ball around quite well here, and Frederick Mass, the scrum half, very close to the line now. And danger here to the Great Britain line as the prop forward gets involved. Joey Roux with a try, and the first try of the game going to France, to Jean-Marc Garcia from Saint-Estève, and jubilation. Oh, there's a bit of something going on in that scrum. And there certainly is now as Tim Street exchanges blows there. And it's all hell let loose now all of a sudden, and fists are flying absolutely everywhere, and really disgraceful scenes. Well, this is the thing that besmirches the name of rugby league, and the referee has got no chance here because there are fights ensuing all over the field, and this is as bad a brawl as you could ever see in the sport of rugby league. Terrible, and it all started in that scrum. There's a kick in there. So Great Britain still haven't been able to get through the French line, but they might do here with Kenny Hill, the Castleford hooker, and he's in. Simple conversion, and Newlove 2 more points. Full-backs coming up. Paget, and Garcia's there. Second try of the game for Garcia. France in front again. And it looks as though Mass is over now. And the French extending their lead, and total jubilation, and a simple enough kick for Vergnol, and France leads 16-8. And the French have won it 16-8, and having lost by 30 points to 0 at Headingley just a few weeks ago, that's a wonderful reversal for them, and they've justified their victory. France 16, Great Britain 8.
Well, by the end of the international weekend, of course, it was the senior Great Britain team who was celebrating, and in some style. Kevin Ward was a popular and deserving choice with his endless tackling and surging runs for the Whitbread Trophy Man of the Match award. And among the speeches, one from Ellery Hanley, the captain, paying tribute to his team.
You know, I don't like sort of bringing names up singly, but I think Lee Crooks played an absolutely tremendous game. And on the whole, I think the whole Great Britain side stuck to the game plan, and we wore the French down. His defence was good, and I think it was a very enjoyable day for the whole of Great Britain. I hope we can go on from there. Thank you very much.
And that's all from Scrum Down for this week as the party begins to break up in Avignon. We'll be back next week with Wigan versus Leeds in the Stonesbitter Championship. Until then, we'll leave you with the memories of a very successful weekend for Great British Rugby League here in Avignon. Good night.
There'll be more from Scrum